Well, hey, Aaniiih Carey Patrick Wertz. Hello, my name is Carey Patrick Wertz. I'm a Human Services and Clinical Dependency Counseling instructor on Aaniiih College. And I just wanted to reach out to students who feel like they've always wanted to work in a field that helps people. I mean, that's pretty much what the human services are. Sometimes another word for it is the helping professions. And so it's a very broad area. It can include, people who want to be counselors or work in mental health in some capacity. It could also be people who are interested in criminal justice. So if you wanted to get a 2-year human services degree here and then go on and get a 4-year degree in criminal justice at Northern, this would be a good fit for you. It is also part of our new 2+2 bachelor's in social work program through the University of Montana. So what that means is you can complete your human services degree here at Aaniiih Nakoda College, and then you can apply to the 2+2 program and complete your bachelor's in social work. And the program is an online program, even though it would require a trip to either Missoula, or in some cases they say they might have them in Billings. It just kind of depends on like where their students are. So an in-person trip once a semester, and that's just meant to kind of help keep students connected with each other. But otherwise, you would be doing it online through the support of Aaniiih Nakoda College. So you would have support here as you're completing those classes. So you wouldn't be doing it on your own. So if online education scares you, don't worry, we would continue to stay with you throughout that process. So anyway, so I wanted to let you know those options. If the term human services sometimes confuses people. But here's what the program of study looks like for the human services. So you have all of your general ed requirements, writing, algebra, public speaking, all of those, natural science. And then you have your cultural requirements at ANC, so taking a class in Aaniiih or Nakoda language, as well as American Indian Studies. The rest of the classes are going to be your core classes for the human services. So in the fall, you would take fundamentals of substance abuse and addiction, and that gives you an overall view of substances, their history, how they impact the body in terms of addiction, treatment, prevention, as well as political and cultural biases behind legislation and law enforcement with addiction. So it's a really good class, that doesn't get too clinical in terms of like addiction counseling if you're not going that route, but will certainly provide you with a nice background, because whatever area of human services you want to work in, you're going to have clients who are struggling with addiction. Then you will take the survey of human services. And in that class, we'll go into like a broad overview of the field, including like how do you communicate appropriately with clients, how do you deal with difficult clients or clients who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then you'll take intro to psychology as well as abnormal psychology. And so intro to psychology, we go into, different parts of brain functioning and processes to help explain behavior. And then abnormal psychology, we will go through all of the classes on mental health disorders. Because again, even if you're not going into the field of counseling, you will encounter clients with these issues. So you need to have this background. And then you will take race, class, gender. And so that's a class that goes more thorough into aspects of diversity. Because too often people just think race and ethnicity is the only diverse category, and no, it expands well, beyond that. And then you will go into case management. So that can be a big part of people working in human services. A lot of times you cannot fulfill all the needs a client has. So this requires you to know the resources in your community, in Montana, so that you can make referrals for clients who need those additional services. We also do kind of a mock treatment plan write-up for that class too, So that way, when you go to work in the field, you'll probably see treatment plans and you'll know exactly what those are. You'll have some familiarity with that. Principles of counseling and group therapy, we will go into the different theories behind counseling. So how do you explain clients' problems? How would you go about making interventions for clients' problems? As well as how to design and conduct groups. And students will also do a mock group as part of that class. Then we'll go into crisis intervention. And so, that defines the situations that we would be called a crisis and talks about the different types of communication skills you would use with clients who are in crisis. So it's a very specific type of work. And of course, suicide, reacting to someone who might be suicidal and how to get them help is a part of that class too. Then you will take developmental psychology, and so that's going into different stages of the lifespan and how people behave and even think differently at different stages. And that's really important. You need to know the difference between working with a kid versus working with a teenager versus working with a young adult and an older adult. And so we'll go into all those differences in that class. You'll take a class on ethics. And so pretty much every class will talk about ethics. And so part of this class will be a review, but we'll also go into topics more thoroughly, and we'll talk about a lot of the nuances that come up with ethical situations. So in other words, a lot of times the answer to an ethical dilemma isn't just a black and white situation. It gets very fuzzy. You'll do a 3-credit internship, and that can be at a place of your choosing. I've had students do social services. I've had students do 477. I've had students do the sheriff's department in Chinook. I mean, it can, whatever type of human services that you want to go into, you choose that place based on that. And then all students have an optional elective, and so that could be another science class. It could be another math class. It could be another human services, class that you want to take. So just kind of based, on whatever students' interests are. And so this is the, again, program of study for human services. And I just really encourage you to give me a call at 353-3918 if you think that this sounds like a good fit for you. And I really hope to see you at registration, or at least hear you on the phone to register. So thank you.